Hi everyone, thank you for joining me at my home today. So today we are going to be doing another somatic strength and yoga class. So let's go to our mats. So we'll start by laying down, or if you'd like, you can come to a seated position. But most people like to lie down, it's more comfortable. And so if you're laying on your back, we just want to make sure that we feel balanced on both right and left side. Knees are bent or legs are straight, whatever is calling you. And we're just going to start by closing our eyes and bringing our awareness and attention to our breath. And so just observing our inhalation and exhalation. Observing how our breath is feeling today, any ease or challenge. And with each exhalation, begin to let go of any tension in the body. So perhaps breathing in deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, like a sigh if you'd like. And as we let go of those tensions, we begin to feel the weight of the body on the mat and the earth rising up to meet our back body. So letting all those tensions melt as best we can. And if you find that any places are still holding on, we can send those places love, so we include the whole body, not just the places that are easily relaxed. And now moving our attention and awareness to our mind as we begin to bring attention to the mind and how the mind is feeling. Do we notice busyness? Do we notice calmness? Lots of thoughts? Maybe some here and there. Or maybe we have a clear mind today. And then bringing our attention back to our breath, observing our breath moving in and out of our bodies once again. The rise and fall of chest, belly, sensation in the nostrils, the back of our throat. And then placing our hands on our belly and begin to move into belly breath. So we'll inhale nice, slow, long and deep in, allowing our bellies to expand into our hands. And exhaling, the belly slowly descends back towards the spine. So it's as if the belly fills with air like a balloon. And as we exhale, the belly slowly descends back towards our spine. And so this is a breathing technique that you can do at home to help calm the mind and recenter yourself. And it may help to regulate emotions. We're feeling strong emotions, coming back to our breath. And we can let those emotions come in and out. We don't push them away, but rather we observe them as if watching clouds in the sky or leaves on a stream floating by. And we can bring our attention back to our breathing. And now let's return back to normal breath and observe how we feel. Any change or no change. And it's okay if you're not feeling any change. And then slowly we'll open our eyes if the eyes are closed. And I'd like for us to come to a seated position now. So you can sit on a meditation cushion if you have one, or perhaps you have some blankets nearby or pillows that you could sit on to elevate the hips for more comfort. Some of us might even be able to just sit in a chair. That would also be an option for you. So if you're sitting on a chair, you're just going to sit at the edge of the chair and placing the feet flat and hip width apart underneath you. So we'll start with inhaling and reaching the arms up, bringing the hands together, and exhaling, bringing the hands to your heart. Lowering the hands, inhale, sweeping them out to the sides, reaching up. Hands together, exhale, hands to our heart. Lowering the hands and then inhale, arms reach out and up, hands together. Exhale, hands to our heart. Let's keep going. Just let this breath begin to energize the body, bringing some energy into the body, waking us up. Do one last one. And exhale. Hands to our hearts. From here, we'll bring our hands on the floor next to us, and we'll place our left hand on the floor, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, and exhale, tip to the left. We can also reach the arm up towards the ceiling. If we can't, lay the arm across the ear. So feeling the stretch in the right side body. Inhale back up, exhale, right hand to the floor, reaching up with the left hand, inhale, lengthen, and exhale, tip to the right. Inhale back up, exhale, left hand to the floor. Now we'll bring the hands behind, inhale, lengthen, so we're going to draw up through the top of our head, and exhale, come forward. And if we can, bringing the hands out in front of us, easing ourselves down a little more. And then inhale, walk the hands back towards the body. And now we'll turn our upper body, so we're going to move the pelvis to the left. Bring the hands behind, inhale, lengthen up through the top of your head. Exhale, hinge out over your left leg. Walking the hands in front of the knee if we can. And so we're just feeling all those different sensations in the body. Inhale, walk the hands back, coming back to center. Now we'll turn and move the pelvis to the right. Bring the hands behind. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, easing ourselves out over the right leg. And if we want, bringing the hands out in front of the knee. And then walking our hands back towards the body. And then from here, we can stay sitting on our support if we'd like, or we can come off the support. And we're just going to bring the feet out in front. So we look like this, and we'll place our hands on our knees. Now on your inhalation, I'd like you to open the knees and draw your belly and chest forward and look up if you can. And then on your exhalation, you're going to close the knees and then rock backwards with the spine, tilting the pelvis, straightening the arms. Now we want to be mindful if we have any back issues at this point. Inhale, drawing forwards, open the knees, looking up. Exhale, closing the knees and rocking back. So rounding the spine, chin to the chest. Inhale, opening, lifting, looking up. Exhale, closing and rounding the spine. Let's do that a few more times. We're just doing the best that we can, and we can lessen the exaggeration of these movements as well, so we don't have to exaggerate the movement so much. Good. Now I want you to recline backwards onto your back. So keeping our knees bent, walk the knees or feet a little bit closer towards the body, and then walk your feet out, arms out to a T, and windshield wiper your legs now. And so I want you to think about freeing the pelvis. But we can also lessen this movement. And we can also move the head in the opposite direction of our knees. Now we'll inhale, bring the knees back up to center with arms alongside of our body. Let's walk the feet hip width apart and intuitively find our ankles under the knees. From here, we'll press down into our feet and float our pelvis up and move into an angle from knees to shoulders. Exhale, lower the bottom towards the mat, lightly touching it, and then inhale, pulsing it back up again. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, lifting. And just keep going. And so what this is doing is it's helping to strengthen the glutes and the legs. And so if you were doing this on your own, because we don't have a lot of time here, you can do this to fatigue, but you might be at fatigue right now. Everybody will be different, and every day is different with our bodies. So if you're at fatigue, you're going to lower down, and then one at a time, bring the knees to your chest and give them a hug. If you're still with me, you can even add like a squeeze when you lift up with the glutes. Inhaling up, exhaling, lowering down. We'll do one more. And then exhale, coming back down. And now one at a time, bringing the knees to the chest, giving them a hug. Breathe in, breathe out. And now we'll bring our feet to the mat, knees stay bent. And then we'll slowly raise the right leg up to straight. Using the strap on the ball of your right foot or interlace the fingers behind the leg. As we begin to stretch the back of the leg, feeling all the sensations of the stretch. If we have more flexibility, we can extend the left leg on the mat, flexing through our left foot. Exhale, take the right ankle on top of your left knee and gently press that right knee away from you. Feeling the sensations in the outer right hip. If we're not feeling much, we can lift the left foot up and then gently grab the thigh of our left leg, drawing the left knee gently towards you and the right knee away. Exhale, bring both feet to the mat. Extend the left leg up now to straight. Interlace the fingers behind the leg or use the strap on the ball of your foot. Right knee is bent or straight. Feeling all the sensations of the stretch in the back of our left leg, maybe even elsewhere. You might feel a contraction in the belly. Taking our left ankle now on the right knee and then gently pressing the left knee away. If we're not feeling much of this stretch, we can lift the right foot up and interlace the fingers behind the thigh of the right leg. Breathing in and breathing out. Exhale, bring both feet back to the mat. Now again, intuitively walk your feet, ankles under the knees. We'll inhale and arch the back away from the mat, like we have a cold ice cube underneath the low back that we're arching our back away from. Then the cold ice cube disappears. We exhale and melt our low back into the mat, tilting the pelvis towards our head. Inhale, arching. Exhale, tucking. Inhale, arch. And exhale, tuck. Inhale, arch. And exhale, tuck. And then we'll come back to a neutral spine here. And then I want you to get a brick. So we're going to roll over onto our side perhaps. Maybe you have one nearby. And then carefully coming up. And then we'll grab a brick. Hopefully you have one. And we're going to place that brick underneath the low back. You could also use a thick telephone book. I don't know if they still make those, or a thick book. And then placing the brick right underneath the lowest part of our back in the sacrum area below the pelvis, with arms by our sides, and then we'll float the legs up to a 90-degree angle with our toes pointing up in dorsiflexion. Let our knees intuitively come over our hips. You can keep your eyes open, and if you really want to look what you're doing, you can take a pillow and place it underneath the head so that the head's sort of tilted forward so that you can see what you're doing better. And then we're just going to slowly, excuse me, exhale, bring the left heel to the mat, very slowly, keeping the opposite leg in the same position. And then bringing that left leg very slowly back up. This is all about slow is better than fast. Inhale, back up. So opposite legs, you're just going to bring the left heel to the mat. Inhale, back up. Exhale, lower the right heel. And then inhale, back up. And so we just keep going with our arms by our sides. And we're going to notice all kinds of muscles start to fire, especially the lower abdominals. And you will also notice the hip flexors as well. Inhaling up, mindfully moving. Just bring your total attention to all sensations that you're feeling, how the body is responding to what you're asking it to do. So you're not just doing the instruction that I'm giving, but you're feeling the effects of the movement. And so if you're at home, you can do this to fatigue, and perhaps you're already at fatigue. And fatigue is in the body, not in the mind. The mind will probably say, oh, I can't do any more, where the body might still feel like it wants to go. It's when you just can't do another set or another round that you know you're at fatigue. And so we might get there in this video and we might not. But you have the rest of the day perhaps to do this. And this is an exercise you can do every day. Okay, and then we're going to bring it back up, hold the 90-degree, hold, hold, hold. And then I want you to straighten the legs out a bit. So notice I'm not bringing the legs straight up towards the ceiling, but they're a bit out. And then I want you to start to flutter your legs. Again, working the abdominals. And I don't like working my abdominals, but I find these exercises are way better than doing sit-ups. I don't like sit-ups. So this, you can tell this isn't like a huge movement. Flutter, flutter. Again, to fatigue, and we might get there and we might not. We might be there already. And then bring the knees in. We can remove the brick, lower down, and then knees hug in. And then we'll exhale and bring our feet to the mat. Let's carefully roll over onto our side, very mindfully, and then rolling all the way over onto our belly. So here we might want to put a lengthwise folded blanket or 2 or 3 underneath our chest and pelvis to support our spine if this position does not feel good on the back. You can always support yourself by doing that. So we'll lay on our belly and bring our forehead to the mat. You could also place a folded blanket under the forehead as well. maybe a brick or some support. And so taking a few breaths here so the body can catch up to what the mind is asking it to do. And then I want you to move your arms into a cactus position when you think of those saguaro cactuses. So arms are out wide, elbows are bent, and fingers are pointing forward. Okay, so from here I want you to keep your elbows on the floor and then lift your hands and forearms up off of the floor. So we start to feel our shoulders and parts of our arms. And then I want you to lift your elbows now. So now you're floating the arms with the elbows bent up off of the floor. Feeling the shoulders. And then you're either going to reach forward with the arms straight or out to the sides if you have shoulder issues. So you're going to inhale, reach the arms out and forward like you're flying through the sky like a superhero. You notice my forehead is still on the mat or support. And then we'll bring the elbows into the waist. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then bring the elbows down onto the mat with the forearms and hands lifting. And then bringing the hands and forearms back down. Relax. We're going to do it again. Bring the arms out into the cactus arms. Keep the elbows on the floor. Lift the forearms and hands up without bending the wrists. As we begin to feel the shoulders and the upper arms. Lifting the elbows, floating the forearms and hands. Inhale, reach forward like you're flying through the sky. Arms can come out wide as well. Exhale, bring the elbows into the waist and squeeze in. And then bring the elbows down, keep the forearms and hands lifted. And then bring the hands and forearms down and rest. Relax. Good. Now, from here, bring your hands next to your rib cage. And then bring the feet out, or the legs out a little wide and turn the toes in. Squeeze your glutes and drag the front belly up through the top of your head and lift to baby cobra. If you want, you can stay here or slide the forearms forward and move into Sphinx pose. Opening the chest. And if you want to take it further, lower down, bring the hands next to the rib cage, and then squeeze the glutes, drag and lift all the way to baby cobra, full cobra. Bring my hands forward a little bit. And then exhale, lower down. Take a few breaths here. And so as we rest here, we're just observing how we feel. And then we'll bring the legs a little closer. And then from here, I want you to just lift the legs up. So we're activating the legs and the glutes. And then exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Keep going. Okay, so if you don't have any back issues, if you have back issues, you'll just do this. If you don't have any back issues, on your inhalation, I want you to bring your arms out wide and then forward if you can. Lift your upper body and then exhale, come back down. So like jumping jack arms and then lifting the legs up and down. You're gonna lift the head when you bring the arms out wide and forward like you're that superhero, and then come down. This is a good way to work the back body. And to me, it's very energizing. And so again, you do this to fatigue. Maybe you're here already. You can rest. If you're not at fatigue, you could keep going. In this video, we only have a certain amount of time. We'll do one more. And exhale, release. You can rest for a moment, turn your head to the side, or keep your forehead on the mat. Noticing the effects of the pose. Maybe your heart's beating a little bit more. Maybe we feel a little heat. And sensations going on in the body. And we'll bring our forehead back to the mat, hands next to our rib cage, taking a breath in, exhale, pressing ourselves up to hands and knees, and we'll move right into downward facing dog. So here we can use our bricks underneath the mat if we'd like. Let me see what time we have. So we can use our bricks under our mat, or some of you might be like, what? I'm not using those, and you don't have to. It's an option, okay? You can also use the wall, so you could walk to the wall and get close to the wall and slide the hands, I said this in a different video, but you can slide your hands down the wall, walk backwards, and move into a wall downward facing dog. Okay, so our wrists are slightly forward of our shoulders. We'll move into a cat tilt here. Take a breath in, exhale, and lift. Down dog. We can step our feet wide and lengthen through our side rib cage. Just giving ourselves a nice stretch here. Some breath work. And if you want, you could walk the feet a little closer, lift the right leg up, moving into down dog splits. Exhale, bring the right foot down, lift the left leg up. You don't have to lift the leg up super high, unless you can. And then exhale, bring the left foot down, adjust the feet. Pull the belly in. And then exhale, bring the knees down. And then if you'd like, you can recline backwards on your mat and allow yourself to rest after this little practice that we've had today. Closing your eyes and just focusing on your breath and letting go of any residual tensions and just allowing the body to surrender into the earth. And so just taking this time to relax and readjust, rest and let go. Softening all tensions with each breath in and out. Like waves of the ocean, moving on and offshore, allowing the breath to do the same as we allow the body to relax deeply. And so you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like, but I will be signing off now. I thank you so much for joining me today and wishing you peace and love. Namaste.